Hi, hello. I'm Cayden, or Garbage as I was known in Craft Studios. If you even know about Craft, which I'm assuming you don't know what Craft is. Regardless, I was one of the developers of Craft, doing a lot of stuff, especially on the game Survive and another scrap project I'll talk about later since it's related to this video. Anyways, I am digressing. I'd like to say I was kind of a jack of all trades. Yes, there was no limit to the softwares, essentially being the artist for the game, creating Survive's thumbnail, and also being one of the map designers and the guy making every single render. Aside from Dr. D's renders, you know who you're already watching this. So, what is this video about? Well, did you read the title? It's literally just all my work I've done for Craft Studios. And, that's, about it. So, yeah. Unlike all of my other showcases of my work, for this one, I will be using my voice, which I am not very experienced with. There's a clear difference between talking while running for my life against Epstein's cousin, and just talking. All of these lines, if you couldn't tell, are me reading off a script, so I don't sound like an idiot, which is why my voice sounds different every time I finish a sentence, so just bear that in mind. Before I start the video, I know it's already a minute in, and I'm yapping. I'll be talking about what happened in the Craft Studios. If you're unaware or know Craft and haven't checked in a while, Craft Studios is abandoned. Why? I won't get too much into detail, but as you can see, it was due to internal conflicts and Roblox being Roblox. The internal conflicts have since been resolved to my knowledge, but we thought for the best that Craft be discontinued. With that out of the way, this video will be split into segments, so if you want to look at a specific part, then you can skip to that section. Now, with this intro being absurdly long, I think it's about time we get to the purpose of the video, shall we? Starting off with renders, my first ever render for Craft was for Survive. I saw the killer photos and thought they looked a little dull, so I decided to hop into Studio and, as a test, decided to create a zombie render. And it didn't turn out too bad. It did not turn out bad at all. And after this, this started a thing where I would be asked to create more and more renders, which eventually led to a inside joke being created. Yeah. Which you'll probably see somewhere in this video. A random fact, the electrician was actually the first character in the game to actually have custom animations made by me. Although for some reason at the time his animations were he was really broken. The electrician, I don't know, was really broken, so the animation just would break him basically. Yeah. The reason why there's another new render is due to it being scrapped. One of the co-owners, I forgot who, didn't want developers in renders and wanted the killers to be visible. So I decided to redo it, and it turned out significantly better than the old render. This is old, since Acid Dude was redesigned by me and I had a new design in the game. I wanted to call Acid Dude Abomination, but nobody wanted to change it. A random fact is that Acid Dude used John Doe's spike arm as a placeholder. If I remember correctly, this is one of the only VIP skins in the entire game, so yeah. The skin is the only skin you can unlock by playing a different game. And little trivia, the OC was supposed to be named Retro Kill as a reference to Ultra Kill, but at the time, one of the co-owners didn't like Ultra Kill. They have since changed, don't get them please. A idea I had was Jack's render to take place where Retro Dude was looking, connecting their renders together. This wasn't allowed, so I settled for Jack standing in the Haunted Mansion pumpkin patch. One of the things I first did on the team and when I worked on Survive was take a look at Chapter 1, the mansion. What felt obvious to me were the lack of actual images. All portraits were jokes, so I made renders that looked like old photographs to make Chapter 1 feel a little more grounded. Again, another one of VIP exclusive skins. and also the only scene in the game to have animation for both killer and survivor in the kill animation. This never appeared in-game, rather a wiki that we never got to finishing. Was supposed to be for the tutorial NPC. I couldn't figure out how to implement it, and whoever was experienced in the NPC dialogue for the lobby never used this. When the shop was being reworked, one of the guys named Cayden, if you're watching this, hi, decided to make me the shopkeeper. So, now here's where the renders take a weird route. Is that spam? There are a few Undertale references and Survive, and a few Death Killers that reference it. The map I used for this render had a virus in it. The rig for tennis skin in this game was unusable in Moon Animator, and I didn't want to make a render false advertising to his actual appearance, so I settled for PNG tennis. That voice tracker that. In Survive the Depths, I made a concept about death-specific renders. I somehow nearly forgot about this render, one of my OC's Urain. You'll learn more about this guy, especially given how much content was supposed to be dumped into his developer OC insert. You've seen what the original Acid Dude looked like? It was literally just a Acid Zombie from Area 51, so I wanted to redesign Acid Dude. I made the concept myself, but then quickly realized nobody else on the team makes custom clothing, so I had to figure out that process by myself. At the time, my internet was down, so I couldn't actually send the finished clothing. Also, for the concept redesign, I wanted to keep the original Acid Dude in the lore, so I made a concept about how new redesign and old design can coexist and survive, which it'll show up on the screen right here. We had a lot of talks about lore and Survive, particularly how the players themselves should be able to learn about Survive's lore. I made a concept for Dr. D's diary. And quick summary for those lacking knowledge of Survive's lore, which is probably everyone watching this video, Dr. D is the big bad. He is the one who knocks. He is the one and only reason Survive's short-lived story existed in the first place. Anyways, Dr. D's diary. It would contain lore for the playable killers. I suggested as well, in order to unlock entries, players would need to find them in chapters or complete challenges using the killers. Unfortunately, we never got around to making this a reality. For this next showcase of art, it's for a scrap game I mentioned beforehand, so I'll talk about it a bit. Codename Survive Persistence. This game was functionally supposed to be an ASIM, inspired by FPS, so there would be 3 killers, and also different survivors you could play as, mostly from Survive, but the game's lore was meant to be limited to Survive. This project had me trying a lot to the game's HUD, which, as I am yapping about this, you should be seeing some concepts for the HUD and the actual HUD assets I designed for the game. Flashing lights warning. Anyways, the only reason my Roblox avatar is here is because I joked about me being a survivor in the game, and that joke ended up being taken literal. Unfortunately for Technician, I don't have his walk saved anywhere. I just don't have it, and I can't find any videos of his walk animations, so there's only the idle. As I mentioned before, this is the only fully animated kill animation for a killer in the entire game. I had the idea of first-person animation, so this is just the product of that. Never got around to having these in-game, but they look cool, I guess. I like this animation because you can actually tell when he takes a step, so cool detail, I guess. I don't know. The animation that was meant to play whenever Acid Dude killed someone in a persistence. I freaking hate walk cycles. Also kinda just don't like how this turned out. Urain was the first of proper kill animations, as I like to call it, and like Aberrant John Doe from Forsaken, Urain was supposed to have multiple kill animations, specifically for developers. I only managed to make 2 though. This one was meant for one of the co-owners of CRAF. This animation was for one of the lobby NPCs, based off one of the co-owners. I also really like it. I just like the Bobby movement. In his right hand, he's supposed to be holding a potion, but the maul didn't come with it, so that's why his hand's outstretched. Specifically for Survive the Depths, this was supposed to be like a neutral death animation. Random fact, for the entire animation portion of this section, I've just been freeballing. I'm not even following the script, and I'm sleep deprived also. I wanted to... I don't know.
Here's a tip. Run faster. Be better next time. Hitboxes may be broken, but it seems your pulse is too.
We got maybe like this.
You may have helped construct this body, but you lack finesse when it matters. Fix your hitboxes already. What a grave soul. Now, run. Another wipe, another reset. Last one. This map's too big for the 2 of us. Oh, I can't wait to see how you act when everyone lays dead at your feet. You're the only one with a pulse. Cherish it. You're going to be seeing your friends real soon. Pathetic attempt. Rest. Back to the lobby you go. Another domino falls. Don't worry. There's always next time. Oops. Oh wait, you're not in. Okay, everything's going good.
This was based on a Forsaken meme I saw like a long time ago. I was getting pushed to make something like this since someone saw a render I made all of my friends together, so they wanted that, but for CRAF. To my understanding, this game was like Petular X, except for like dragons. If I'm not wrong, this had something to do with me starting Acidude's render. Trying to figure out how to make a cube head. I have literally no idea what these images are, but I'm including them anyways. Outside of the map boundaries, I found this face for some reason. It was just outside the map, so I just put it behind the water cooler. I don't think anybody found it, though. Since there were 3 kills per round, I decided to make the map big, and as it stands, I think the map is pretty big. There was going to be an outside, but CRAF ended before I could actually make the full route to the outside. I'll most likely keep building this map, since fortunately this map is based off a location in my own little world, aka OC land. Specific characters I created exist in. So this map is far from being gone or abandoned. For some lore, I was figuring about putting voice recordings you can find in play. I only ever created one script about voice recording between 2 individuals, so while the map is shown, you can listen to the voice recordings. It's not professional, and honestly, at the time recording this audio clip, it doesn't even exist, but anyways.
Is this thing working? Oh, I think it is. Yep. Okay. Recording log 1 from Colin. I figured I should try dabbling in these audio recordings because the store receptionist job is boring sometimes. Like, all I do here is look at someone's ID. If it's valid, give them entrance. If it's not, well, I don't actually know what to do, then... I'll just leave that to my coworker that... What does he even do again?
Hello, once more, Colin.
What do you got there?
It's coffee.
Yeah, stupid question, I know.
Well, I'm giving you a heads up. They're gonna be moving something big around 3 p.m.
Something huge?
Henry told me it has something to do with a newer project. The specifics, which I'm not aware of, it's not exactly my clearance or job to care. But since you're mainly the one operating the doors, if something goes wrong, keep a lookout.
Okay, but not like I'd miss anything big or whatever passing through.
Don't misplace your confidence.
I would have loved to make more voice recordings like this, but this was the only like voice recording that was, or script that was made during this game's development. So that is pretty much the end of the video. Hope it was interesting. I don't know, like, just look at someone else's work, I guess. I got distracted by the gameplay. Anyways, you know, I thought it would be fitting to well, showcase all like the developer renders in like the outro of the video. Basically, creator renders the developer renders I made for the credits room in the game, and that survived at least. So while you just have this gameplay going on, you can see all of those.